The recording has started. I take great pleasure in welcoming Lindsay McDonald, who I just learned was born in Wisconsin. In my mind, she is one of the extraordinary Canadians that the Western New Yorkers totally have access to in normal times. Buffalo misses going to Canada. I miss all of my Canadians who live in Narnia.
Narnia.
People know if I post that I'm going to Narnia, it means I'm going to Toronto. Or I have a number of friends who live in Belleville. My happy place. So this is Eavesdropping, Grow Your Problem Solving Toolkit with Body Wisdom. And we've got the delightful Lindsay McDonald leading this session. And I am going to turn the time over to the next 90 minutes over to Lindsay.
Thank you, Beth. Thank you. And again, yes, we've just been writing in the chat who we are, where we're from, and if you happen to know the First Nations whose land we're on, if you could indicate that as well. But to start, I would love it if we could just take a moment and unmute ourselves and just say hi. It's going to be noisy, but I'd love for each of us to get our voices into the room. So if we want to just, on a count of 3, unmute and say hello, however you wish, that would be great. We'll go 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody.
Hi. Hola.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Yay. Hurrah.
Lindsay, you're muted now.
Oh, I am. Okay. Thank you. Boy. Like Beth said, you're in the session called Eavesdropping, Grow Your Problem Solving Toolkit with Body Wisdom. So over the next 90 minutes, this is an experiential workshop. So we'll experience 2 of the main practices in social presencing together. One of the exercises we do will support the development of body awareness, and the other invites us to explore a challenge or a place that we're feeling stuck. So I'm hoping that these 2 tools will give you a real glimpse into the power and the possibility of embodiment work when it comes to expanding your tool chest. But before I go any further, I want to share with you that I am joining you from Vancouver, BC, which is situated on the unceded lands of the Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, and Stolho and Musqueam First Nations. And I begin this way to set a context. It's a context that's deeply relevant to social presencing. And it's that context that we are all on land and watersheds that have supported human activity for thousands of years. that land is layered with stories, with happenings and memories, and that we are part of a continuum of life that is embedded, connected, and constantly shifting and moving. I also begin this way as a reminder that we are in relationship with this earth. We affect it, it affects us. And we are in relationship with the people around us. We're in relation with the people in this session, with people in our community, and with people globally. And we are in relationship with ourselves, our history, and our future. So that is the context of social presencing. It's the thing we're always aware of. And I just want to share a tiny bit of what brought me to this work. And that is, in my time as a composer in theater and dance, I was witness to the wonder of this emergent, co-creative and embodied work that just seemed to bring itself to life. And as a facilitator, I'm drawn to the work of social change. It's work that might shift our systems so they might produce a kinder and more sustainable future. So social presencing is kind of a mixture of embodiment work, the interest in social change, And then it brings in a third element, and it's the element of mindfulness. And it's in that little Venn diagram, that little space, that this practice exists. So let me just share over the next 90 minutes what you might expect. We're going to be doing a mixture of working together here in the main room. Sometimes we'll be working in silence, and sometimes I'll be prompting you. So just be aware of your environment. You might want a little privacy. You might want a little quiet. You'll need a little tiny bit of space to move, not very much. If you've got comfy clothes on, you may want to kick off your shoes. Let me draw your attention to the view on this. Sometimes it's nice to be, if you look at the top right, you can change your view from speaker view to gallery view. This is often really good in gallery view. You get a sense of all of us working together, and that's part of this work. Or you may want to flick it to speaker view every now and then to get a closer look at things. But mostly gallery view is what's going to work. I will be giving you time to journal, and I'll do some guided journals. So if you find yourself want to capture something, I will be giving you time to do that. We will have 2 breakouts. They'll be randomly assigned, and there'll be 3 people in the breakout rooms. It will be the same 3 people both times. And then we'll be sharing some things. We'll be sharing in the chat like we've already done. And also when we come back to the main room from the breakouts, I'll invite you to unmute and to share any patterns or similarities you might have noticed in your breakout groups. Okay, one other thing. For part of this session, I'm inviting you to explore an area of your life or work where you're feeling stuck. So just know that you won't have to share anything about what that's about, and you can go as deeply and personal as you want. With embodiment work, sometimes that brings up unexpected emotions, and they can be comfortable, they can be uncomfortable. But if at any time you're feeling as though you need to take a step back, please just stay in the session and maybe raise your hand. There's a button at the very bottom on reactions where it says raise your hand, and just bring our awareness to this. And there'll be moments that I can join you in a breakout room. We just don't want that unsettling feeling that someone has left without us touching base. Okay, a reminder, the breakout rooms, there's no recording, but we are being recorded in the main room. So if it's comfortable for you, I'd love it if you could stay in the camera because it helps me to guide, but you are also welcome to step out of the screen if that's more comfortable for you. So this is an experiential workshop, but I'm going to give you 1 minute of background on social presencing theater. It just seems the right thing to do. Social presencing theater was co-developed by Arawana Hayashi. She has written her first book called The Art of Making a True Move. And it was also developed with Otto Scharmer at MIT. And they've got something called the Presencing Institute. The Institute was sort of built on the shoulders of giants, like people like Ed Schein, who his latest book is Humble Inquiry, and Peter Senge, The Fifth Discipline and Organizational Research. It's very much embedded in complexity science. Donella Meadows has been a huge contributor with her thinking in systems. And social presencing theater offers a way to really quickly go through what Otto Scharmer calls the U journey, which is basically a way of bringing something new into the world. And over the 10 years that they've been using social presencing theater, it has become their go-to tool to really understand how systems impact each other, how parts of organizations are dysfunctional, and where they're finding difficulties. It surfaces insights that really help to understand the nuances of what is happening very quickly. And for me, I always think it's perhaps not surprising that a complex system like our bodies is sort of uniquely, it's even poetically positioned to give us insight into the increasingly complex problems of today. Okay, before we plunge into our first social presencing practice, this will be one just that will develop some body awareness. I want to share a little bit about embodiment work in general, like what is it we're about to do? And the practice of embodiment acknowledges the body's intelligence and its capacity as a sensing organ. The body itself is complex with many interacting systems, and these are in relationship with our mind and everything that surrounds us. There's a Deepak Chopra quote, and I'm just going to copy this into our chat, that I think really captures, for me, this work. The quote is, "Every cell in your body is eavesdropping into your thoughts." And the idea in social presencing theater is that when the body and the mind become synchronized, we have access to that holistic, integrated intelligence, the kind that humans have accessed for millennia. And embodiment is the practice to restore that natural synchronicity. So the body's not only in relationship with the mind, it's also in relationship with everything that surrounds us. It's the kind of the conduit. It's the translator between our minds and what we see, hear, smell, taste, feel. It senses into the patterns flowing around us. And our bodies are not passive in this role. They shape our experience, and they are shaped by this sensory information that flows both ways. So by applying mindfulness to this sort of resonating chamber of the body, we can sink more deeply into the language of the body and access the insights it might have to offer. And the language of the body is feeling. So how does the body speak to us? How might we lean into this language of the body? Well, the body essentially does two things. The body makes a shape, and it can be still or it can move. Right now, our bodies are in a shape, and most of us are in a sitting shape. Just for a moment, stay exactly as you are, and keeping your eyes open, just notice the shape you're in. Like, where are you connecting to the earth? Through our chairs? Do you feel your feet connecting on the floor? Are you feeling tension anywhere? Muscles of your face? Your hands? How is your back? So this is our shape right now, and we're noticing it. That's all. And now, staying where you are, let go of that shape and invite some movement. Sometimes we call it softening the shape. And move and find a place to pause. Find another shape. This movement can be short, it can be small. It can take a long time, it can take a minute to settle. It doesn't matter. Just notice and feel the movement. And when you find that next moment of stillness, hold it there. And again, go through the ideas. Are you connecting to the earth? Do you feel tension? Just take a moment and notice the new shape. How's your belly? Your toes? Okay, let's do that one more time. Let's soften the shape and feel the movement. And when your body wants to stop, just hold the next shape and notice it. Okay, release that. Now it's this kind of movement, the alternating stillness and movement and sensing into the shape that is the basis of the first practice we're going to do today, which is called 20-minute dance. We'll be doing a slightly shorter version of it, maybe 15 minutes or so. And we'll be doing it in this main room. So you're welcome to be out of the frame, but let me just explain how it goes. 20-minute dance kind of progresses in a developmental kind of way. So over the 15 minutes, we're going to move through 3 levels. We'll begin on the lying level, and I'll guide you for a little while and leave you then for a few minutes just to self-guide and feel the process. Then I'll invite you up to a sort of a mid-level, and that might be like the sitting level or kneeling level. And I'll do the same thing, prompt, and then I'll leave you there to self-guide for a few minutes. And finally, I'll invite you into the standing level, and you can move there, maybe move your feet, but mostly stay in one spot. So now if your body wants to stay on the lying level, that's fine. If you want to go from sitting to lying, that's fine. Everything is good, what you do. So after we do this, I will invite you to come and journal anything that you've noticed. And also I'll ask you to explore a few sort of specific questions. And then I'll invite you into breakout rooms where you just simply share the observations you've made with 2 other people. Okay, so let's begin this practice. And like I said, we're staying in the main room. So if you're comfortable staying in the camera, that's great. Or if you'd like to move out of the screen, that's great too. But before we can stand, why don't we just stretch your body and move it around as you find your spot. And again, if you've got some space to lie, find a place to start to lie down. You might want to kick off your shoes. Did I say that already? Yeah. With embodiment work, it is as a support sometimes to lower, or you can close your eyes, whatever helps to minimize distractions. If you find that your attention wanders, if you're thinking or labeling or judging the experience, just let go of those thoughts. And I go back to the sentences: I sense, I feel, I sense, I feel. Okay, so we're starting at the low level, at the lying level, and I'm just going to begin by, okay, good. I think everyone's looking ready. So we can begin first by being still. And if I can invite everyone just to be present, to be grounded on this particular spot on the earth. Each of us can feel our body connecting to the floor, which connects to the earth. Feel the weight of this connection. Sinking deeper into the body, take a moment to really feel the earth, the wholeness of this connection. We live here. We have a place here. We belong in this spot right now on this earth. Now bring some attention to your breathing. Just notice your breathing body connecting to this big body of earth, the solidity of the earth with the openness of space in the room all around us. Feel the back of this body, this breathing body, and notice its shape. Where is there connection? Where is there pressure, tension? And when you're ready, just let a movement begin. Let's soften the shape. Let the body lead. No planning. The body might feel like stretching, like rolling over, wiggling its fingers, but keep the movement close to the ground. Any movement is good. Just pay attention to the sensations, the feeling of the body as it's moving. And when it feels right, pause. Find a new shape and feel what this shape is like. How does it feel? Where does it connect to the earth? Where does it connect to itself? Your attention can be on a part of the body, like the lower back, knee, or you can sense the whole body. Whatever you notice is just what you should be noticing. And when you're ready, just lighten the shape and let it move again. Sensing into the connection, feeling the open space around you, paying attention to the feeling of the body. And if you could just continue alternating stillness, leaning into the shape, inviting a new movement, I'd like you to self-lead just for some minutes, and then I'll come in again. A few minutes. Now, I just want to invite you to explore a little higher in the room, maybe up to that sitting or kneeling level. So continue alternating stillness with movement, allowing your eyes to remain closed. Feel the movement in your arms, maybe at the top of your head as you move into the open space of the room. If your body wants to stay on the lying level, that's fine. Let your body lead you. And take a moment to feel into the heart of this breathing body as it senses into the room and everything in it. As it feels the expansiveness to the left and to the right. Feel into the sense of connection to maybe everyone who is doing this exercise together here at this moment. We're connected. And then expand this sense of being connected beyond this group, maybe into your family, your community, right across the country, right across the globe. Take some time to focus on the heart and sensing into this feeling of being connected, this feeling of compassion and shared humanity. We'll stay at this level for another couple of minutes, begin alternating stillness and movement. And now just take a moment to feel the top of the head, just always in relationship with the sky, with openness and vastness where anything is possible. And shift up into maybe the standing level. So you can slowly make your way there or stay where you are, but continue to alternate moving and stillness and maintain that sense of standing on one spot. Your movements might include bending, twisting, or reaching. And continue this for a couple of minutes, connecting to the openness and vastness of the space around you. We'll do this for another minute. So just slowly, over the next few minutes, I'd like to invite you back to the desk, and I'd like to invite you to journal anything you might have noticed. When you do come back, if you could please take a moment and turn your video back on, that would be great. And I will give you about 3 minutes to just journal. I've put in the chat to journal. What did you sense? How did it feel? Does this experience bring to mind an image or a metaphor, maybe an emotion? Maybe you thought of music or a song, a poem came to mind, maybe a question, anything at all, just anything that this brings to mind for you. Give you a couple more minutes. People look like they're writing them. And again, a reminder that if you don't want, we'll go into breakout rooms next, and all we're doing is sharing our thoughts and observations. We'll be in the breakout room for about 8 minutes. And then when you come out, if somebody can share any patterns or any of the conversation that you know that you had. If you don't want to be in the breakout rooms, please just message Beth and let her know. I'm going to broadcast, I'm going to put in the chat just some instructions. When you go into the breakout room, the invitation will just be for each of you to share for 1 or 2 minutes the things that you noticed, and everyone else listens in silence. There should be 2, 3, or 4 of you in the room, so adjust accordingly. And the listeners just listen. And once you've all shared, then just open it up to free and natural conversation around what did you notice? What were the similarities? What were the differences? And then when you come back into the main room, I will invite someone to unmute and share some of the conversation or thinking that you explored. And I think, has everyone had enough time? I think I'll invite, here's a good time for me to stop. Are there any questions at all at this point that have come up for anyone? Are we ready to go into the breakout groups? Breakout groups it is. Okay. Ready? Thanks.
I only had 2 people say they couldn't go. So there is a group of 4 and everything else. So. Or it must be on.
Great.
That was delightful. I did all kinds of stretching.
Oh, Beth. Oh, I find it so invigorating in the afternoon to do this. Like, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
So I'm sitting on a yoga ball chair And I'm like,
Yeah.
am I laying down? So I laid down on the chair just to like, stretch out.
Right. Yeah, good. We don't leave enough time to do that kind of thing for ourselves in the day. So Beth, I was hoping that maybe around the 3-minute mark, we could broadcast something into the breakout rooms. Is that easy?
Yes. We're limited on letters, but what did you want to broadcast?
All I was just going to say, I can copy it into the chat. Would that be helpful?
Sure.
Just when at 3 minutes, I just would say we're at 3 minutes. If you haven't already, shift to the next person. Do you think that'll fit?
Yes, that will definitely fit.
Okay, awesome. And I'll let you know when I think we're at 3 minutes, but 6. We're still got a minute and a half to go. Thank you for diving in and doing that. That was great.
I have often to do like backgroundy stuff, but anytime I can participate,
Yeah,
I do.
great. I've had to mute a few times. I've got allergies today, so I'm clearing my throat.
The allergies have been so bad this year.
Yeah. So I think we're getting close to the 3-minute mark. Any time-ish would be good. And I'll put the next one in the chat, which will be sort of at the 5-minute mark. I always give them a minute or two to introduce and sort things out.
It's nice to remind them to.
Yeah. If you're right into it, I often miss it, but.
Caustic social comment. I was telling the wings, like during your sessions, she started snoring so loud.
It's funny. Yeah, no, this is one of the sessions that if I have an interruption because you're trying to set a mood and things, so I usually go up and say, please don't burst into the room and say anything but fire. Okay, we've still got about 40 seconds before we need to broadcast the next one.
My husband usually pops his head in. He's like,
yeah. Usually, because people are so used to, right? Yeah, people are so used to that kind of thing. So usually, you can wave it off, but somehow when you're giving silence and guided things, it affects the mood.
so are we?
Yeah, you're such a good timer. Yeah, anytime around now would be great. Thanks. Okay, I'm just trying to. often people don't have enough time to really touch base and share in the room. So I've tried to add a couple of minutes now. It always makes me feel I don't want to be leaving too much room. So we'll see.
I do have, let me know when you want me to shut it, but I have room will be closing in a few moments just so they like it because getting pulled out of Zoom can be very like
shocking.
Yeah.
Yes, it can. So do you give them a 30-second warning or is it a 60-second warning? Do you know?
I can't remember because we've had to switch it back and forth for different sessions. So I say in a few moments. And then when I close the rooms, they either have half a minute or a full minute.
So how does that work? Oh, you just, yeah. So you'll do it like a minute ahead and then whatever happens. I see.
When I'm setting up the rooms, I can preset the time that they get pulled out and how long it takes. And I know I've changed it a bunch of times because somebody wanted 30-second warning and 60 is our normal default. So I can't remember which one it is currently, and I can't check while the rooms are open.
Yeah.
So it's one of those.
Got it. Oh, well, we just work with those squidgy minutes.
Let me know when you want me to pull them back.
Okay, they'll have the extra minute, right? Yeah. Well, anytime that feels right.
3, 2, 1.
Ding.
60 seconds.
Perfect.
And you're halfway through your session.
Oh, heavens above. How did that happen?
I don't know.
Crikey. And you know what?
You want the second breakout to be the same people? Right?
Please, yes, please. Yeah, that'd be great.
Problem. That's easy.
Perfect. And I'm almost to the minute in my planning. I've done this so many times but it's always so nice when you go, oh, 10:43. Oh, 10:43. Welcome back. Welcome back into the room. Hello. So just as we land back, it's from the conversation in the back breakout rooms, I'd just like you to invite people to unmute and just maybe share a thought about what you noticed and what maybe some of the things you spoke about. So I'm welcoming anyone who's comfortable to unmute and to share. Yeah, great. Go for it, Mary Ellen.
Just spending slow time with yourself and being gentle. We oftentimes, I think Chris said this, hustle here, hustle there, and just slowing down, doing that, didn't take that long, 15 minutes, and then just be gentle with yourself and not rush.
Thank you. Someone else?
Yeah.
Mr.
I was thinking about doing exercises, on the floor, like connecting with the water when I was lying down, and sometimes doing things symmetrically, and then thinking consciously to just do something on one side, but not do the same thing on the other side. Because usually when you exercise or do like a yoga thing, you do this, you do the same movement on the other side to even everything out. And trying to think about it not being even was something that occurred to me.
Different. Thank you. If you have just unmute and I'm welcoming you. I know a few people have put their hands and please just unmute and come right in. Christy.
So I felt this profound connection between heaven and earth, to be the conduit between the two. And I noticed that my senses were very heightened as well, where the wind chimes that are outside my door, I could hear very clearly. I could smell things. I had a sense of taste. I could hear one of my teachers speaking to me in a, about the experience I was having, almost like we were having a conversation in my head. And it was very nourishing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to say something? I don't see both the screens here, so I think as a practice, I find this 20-minute dance, I was saying to Beth, that it's such a lovely thing to do in the afternoon. It just wakens everything up, but it's also a beautiful way to start the day. You can almost feel yourself moving into the day. So this is a practice that I just find wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. So I want to shift now into the second embodiment exercise that we'll do today. And this embodiment exercise is called Stuck. And it's really the main technique for social presencing theater. You can use it, individuals can use it, or teams can use it. And it helps to reveal the insights that would guide us in decision-making or action taking. And we can explore stucks that are of a deeply personal nature, or where you're stuck in the dynamics of a team. You can even explore stucks that are abstract, like feeling stuck in a cycle of overconsumption or waste production. But for today, for this exercise, if we could each choose a personal or professional stuck, that would be great. So just take a moment and ask yourself, where are you feeling stuck right now in your life or work? And just breathe and notice the first thing that comes to mind. Again, this is a reminder that we will not be sharing any details of your stuck, so you can go wherever you want with that. So while you're deciding what your stuck is, I'm just going to describe what we're going to do today. First of all, I'll walk through the process, and I want you to imagine doing the stuck together. Then we will do the stuck together here in the main room, and I'll guide you. Then I will give a few minutes to journal and invite you to join your companions in your breakout room again. And once you're in the breakout room, the invitation will be to redo your stuck there. So I will just go through the process now. And if you can bring your imagination to it, that would be great. So in this stuck exercise, we're going to find two shapes. And in stuck, we call these shapes sculptures. So sculpture 1 is the shape that the body makes to express the feeling of this stuck. And to get into this sculpture 1, you simply bring your attention to the feeling in your body and allow that feeling you get in this particular stuck. Allow it just to come into the body and let the body take a shape. You're really, what you're doing is making it concrete and visible. So everybody's stuck is going to be different, and each of us have multiple stucks. Arowana often jokes that if you can't come up with a stuck, she'll give you one of hers. So really just think of something, it'll come to you. Once you've found your sculpture 1, you just hold the shape. Same as in 20-minute dance. You hold it, you notice it. Take a few natural breaths and just feel how it is in your body to be in that shape. And then take it one step deeper. Stay curious about the shape, but get more into that shape. Sort of amplify it, intensify it, really kind of lean into it. What's happening? This is sort of your data. This is your information that the shape is giving you. So are your fingers reaching? Is your head in a certain direction? Where do you feel the most tension? I guarantee you this shape will become uncomfortable. No one can hold a stuck for very long. So once you've really explored these sensations, I want you to invite a word or a sentence from that shape, beginning with the word I. So it's like, what does this shape have to say? Or if this shape had something to say, what might that be? And once you've spoken your sentence, just lighten your shape, and like in 20-minute dance, find another movement, go where it leads, and when it feels like it's ready to settle, that's great. And that shape is called sculpture 2. Now, sculpture 2 does not represent anything in particular. It's merely the next shape the body wants to make. And then you repeat this. Just naturally feel the breathing and the sense of that shape. And once you feel that you've got that, just lean into and amplify the space, that shape, the pressure, the tension. And really, what is this shape trying to tell you? And then again, when you finish that, speak your sentence from sculpture 2, the I sentence. If this shape had something to say, what would that be? Now, I'm just going to model what it might look like, what it looks like for me to embody a stuck, because I think it can be helpful to sort of see that process. One thing in your break, you'll notice I'm changing my camera angle. So when you get into your breakout rooms and do this, remember to bring your camera angle down so people can see. And I'm going to move back a little bit because I tend to incorporate my legs. So I'm just going to stand and think of my stuck for a moment. And then when I feel the movement in my body, I'm just going to follow. And for me, for that stuck, that's what the shape looks like for me. So once you're in the shape, you just notice it. You lean into it more and you speak a sentence. So what I'd like to do now is just all of us experience that. I will guide you through it step by step, but I will invite you to, you can do this stuff from a sitting place, or you can stand. And if standing is available to you, I would like to invite you to do that. If you're comfortable staying with the camera, that's lovely. Again, it helps me to see where you're at, but I will guide you step by step. So I'll have a gauge. And if you'd like to move out of the camera, this is the time to do it. Again, you might want to lower or close your eyes for this experience. But just trust the moment-to-moment experience. Okay. So when you're ready, and see some people still getting ready, just think of that place where you're feeling stuck. How does that feel to you? And attend to your body and let that feeling of being stuck in this particular situation come into the body as a shape or a gesture. Take your time. Take your time. You can slowly do this. And the idea is to find a shape that you can hold and really lean into. And when your body comes to a stop, just breathe and notice the shape. And when you're ready, stay curious about the shape and get more into that shape. You amplify it, intensify it, lean into it. What's happening? What are your fingers clenched? Are they pointing? Is your face in a particular direction? Where is the tension? What data and information is this shape giving you? And when you're ready, you can keep this silent, or you can speak it aloud, but you can keep it silent. Just invite a word or a sentence that begins with I. A word or a sentence that, what does this shape want to say to you? What does it want to say? If this shape had something to say, what might it be? And once you have your sentence, just begin to lighten up on this shape. It will start to move. It wants to move. And just feel the movement. Attend to your body. Just let the body go, follow where it's going, and until it wants to settle again. And this might take some time. But when you do settle, this will be your sculpture too. I'm watching people still settling, so once you find your sculpture too, take a few natural breaths and feel how it is in your body to be in that shape. And now get curious here too. Amplify the shape, intensify it, really sense into it. Where does this shape connect to the earth? What feeling do you sense? Where is their energy? Where is their tension? And again, when you're ready, invite a word or sentence from this shape that begins with the word I. If this shape had something to say, what might it be? And from here, when you're finished, take a little longer if you need to, but when you're finished, just let go of sculpture 2 and shake your body out, whatever you want, and come back to the cameras and grab a journal and write down those sentences, capture the sentences and anything else that you might have noticed. I'll give you a minute or two to do that. And when we're finished that, I'll describe what we'll do in the breakout rooms. I'll just give you a couple of minutes. Okay, I'm going to just begin to describe to you, explain what will happen in the breakout rooms. I'm adding it to the chat. This next breakout room will be about 20 minutes long. It'll give you lots of time, and you'll be with the same people as you've just been speaking with. And this is going to be done kind of like a duet, where one person of the group is chosen. You choose to model this whole stuck experience. So you'll go through it again. I would invite you to keep the same stuck, but you'll find there's variation. You may even find that your sentences change. So go with the changes that come to you. So the sculptor will move into their stuck. They will just naturally feel it. They'll amplify it and then speak aloud your sentences so that the observers can hear. Meanwhile, the observers are they're watching intently. You're really looking to see, what did you see? Because again, that's data. What did you sense? What did you sense in this movement? What did you feel? I'd like you also to notice, do the sentences impact you? And did any emotion come to mind? Or any image, a quote, metaphor, song, anything like that you have to share? Just note this down. And so that's the first part of the duet. And the second part, I'm just going to put this up here because it was too big to do all at once. Once that's done, the observers will need a moment of silence to gather their thoughts. And the sculptor would please grab your pen and paper and jot down the sentences that you spoke, and then wait for the observers to share their thoughts. And when the observers start to share, just write down everything you notice that's of interest that you want to capture. And in this time, then the observers, just one at a time, will share what they sensed, what they felt, images. And when both observers have shared, I'd like you then to just move on to the next person without much conversation. So again, when all of the people in the room have done this and you've heard from it, then you can open up just to free conversation. Again, noticing patterns, similarities, differences. And then again, when we come back to the room, I'll invite you to share some of the experiences. That would be wonderful. Are there any questions about what happened, about this at all? And I don't see everybody on the screen, so just unmute and ask any questions. Okay. Well, I think we're good. So I hope the instructions are strong there. I would invite Beth to get you into your breakouts and have a lovely, lovely, lovely time. Ray, are you wanting to say something? No, okay. Welcome, welcome, coming back. Hello. Hello. So nice to see you. So what I would love maybe in these, there's one thing I want to have everyone share in the chat, but maybe if we could take these next 5 minutes or so sharing what came up for you. I hope that you all had a chance to participate, but what has come up for people in the breakout rooms? And just unmute and speak. You don't need to, because I can't see everyone.
I'll share. I'm just so amazed how we were able to interpret something. Like, I'm not a dancer or a body person, and I don't know if the other two are, but so much emotion and feeling and came across. It was just amazing, and I could tell in listening and hearing that it was mutual. So it was just really, really amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Mary Ellen?
A
Just
very,
unmute.
a very, very long time ago, I did something similar in person at CPSI in Buffalo. And I just want to compliment you on how wonderful this was set up, because I felt the same way when I did this eons ago as this experience this afternoon. So thank you so much for that, Lindsay. Because sometimes you wonder if you can have an experiential kind of situation, and you prove to us that we could do that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Yes, Marcia.
Yeah, it was really powerful. Like getting into one of the positions particularly was just needing to cry. And what I felt in the group was an empathy like I probably haven't felt telling someone about the struggle or the where I'm stuck. It was a feeling of empathy, like they got it better than if I had said it in words. And that was great.
Thank you. Thank you. That's beautiful. Anyone else? I'll just maybe take one more share. And what I'd love to do is I'd like to end up with, I want you to take a moment thinking of your sculpture 1 and your sculpture 2. You have your sentences, and take a minute or two to come up with a sentence that describes the movement from sculpture 1 to sculpture 2. So when describing that movement, that transition between the sculpture, if that movement could speak, if it could say something, what would it have to say? And again, it's a sentence that begins with the word I. I'll just give you a minute. What did that movement feel like? What was the feeling? And when you have that sentence, what I'd like to invite everyone to do is to share all of these sentences, sentence 1 from sculpture 1, sentence 2 from sculpture 2, and then sentence 3 from the movement, and to put them into the chat. And here are the instructions. When you put them into the chat, don't press send. If you press return, it'll all be chopped up. So just write all of the 3 sentences in, and when you've got all 3 down, just press send. And I'd like to read some of them out because these sentences are like little poems, little haikus. So one is, if they're all 3 together. So write all 3 sentences and then press send. So I think I see one group of 3 sentences. I see, I am tight, I can choose, I grow. Another one is, I am humbled, I am liberated, I am envisioning the future. Just putting all groups of 3 in. I don't want to do this. I get prepared. I am ready to go. I want to unravel. I want to grab the world. I found the key to unravel me. I am small and overlooked. I am mighty and I am light. I am an expression of sacred light and love. I can't. I am in anguish. I see you. Now rest. Last, I am frustrated. I want to be left alone. I lighten the other. I go from me to you. For me, when you capture these sentences, they're little beautiful gems. So I'd like to just wrap up with this share. And thank you for all participating. This is, I think, really courageous work. So thank you for bringing your all to it. And I did in my session title, I've put some documents there if you wanted to read more deeply into the work, 20-minute dance, the stuck, and just social presencing in general. And I'm really open to being contacted by anybody if you want to talk about it more, because this really is one of my favorite practices. I love it. Any final questions at all before I turn it? Oh, can I just read a couple more? I reach out seeking, I feel frustrated, I search using the wind of perseverance. It's beautiful. Can I pass it over to you, Beth?
Thank you so much, Lindsay, for this. I don't know, I want to call it exhale session. Very, very, very grounded and releasing, maybe, at least for me. Thank you so much for putting in all of this time and effort for this. And thank you all of the participants who made this session amazing. I've said it before, we need to have you here for this. It's so much better to debrief with people. But as fantastic as today's been, we're not done yet. Take a break. Go make some more body sculptures, journal about it, go outside, enjoy some time. And then at 7 o'clock tonight on 7 Eastern time, Jane Fisher and Katie Berner-Wallen are going to have us laughing. So look forward to a participatory social event of improv. And other than that, thank you so much. And of course, big shout out to Ray, our wing, as always, silently in the back, making sure everything goes well.